Hi, I'm Anna with Marshall Communications, and today is National Fried Pie Day. So I'm celebrating by making some fried apple pies. They're basically cute little empanadas, and I'm not a really great baker of actual pies, so I'm hoping this is a fun and easy way to get a delicious apple pie type result. So the first thing we're going to do is make the dough. And I've already measured out everything, and so I'm going to put the flour and salt and pulse it a couple of times, and then add the butter and pulse it until the biggest pieces are like the size of a pea. And then I'm going to put it in this bowl here and add the ice water, which I just put a little bit of water in and then an ice cube to make a quarter cup of very cold water. So I made a little well. I'm going to add the water and then start mixing it by hand. So take your wedding rings off and get going. So now I have a pretty good little ball of dough here. And since I'm making a half recipe, I'm just gonna pat this down into a 1/2-inch cylinder and then pop it in the freezer for an hour. And then we'll get started on the filling while this is cooling in the freezer. I'm gonna add the apples to the melted butter. Stir to combine them. Butter everywhere. Then the lemon juice and vanilla, and then the sugar and spices. And then we're just gonna cook this until the sugar's dissolved and the apples have started to soften. Once the sugar's dissolved and the apples are starting to soften, I'm gonna add some flour and sugar that I've mixed together. And then I'm going to cook, stirring constantly until it thickens out for the filling. So now that my dough is chilled, I'm going to roll it out and then cut out the little 4 or so inch circles that I have with this biscuit cutter. One of the things I have that is great when it says a specific thickness that you're supposed to roll something out to is one of these rollers that has these little wheels, and so I've chosen the one that's a 1/4 inch thick, and so it can't get any thinner than that, and that's super helpful because pie crusts are like my nemesis. I'm really bad at them. They stress me out. So I'm gonna roll this out and then cut out some circles. So Cadence is gonna help us fill the little pie. So you're gonna take a fork and scoop out, leaving as much of the liquid behind as possible, a little bit into the center of the little pie thing, in the center. And then you're gonna dip a finger in the cold water in that little ramekin, run it along one edge of the pie, and then close that, fold that over into a little half moon, and then using the clean fork, crimp it shut. You want to make sure it's nice and sealed. So I discovered that the 1/4 inch biscuit thickness, when I used the little cutter, it was just too thick. So I ended up rolling them out so they're not perfect circles. So Cadence, bring it over here and show it to the camera. There you go, got a little pie. I have an instant read thermometer, so I'm confident that this oil is at 350. But if you don't have one, just take a really small piece of dough and put it in, and if it rises to the top right away, like mine just did, you know it's the right temperature. Because if the oil's not hot enough, they'll be really greasy and gross. And if it's too hot, the dough will cook on the outside, but not all the way on the inside. That'll also be gross. So we're gonna fry some pies now. So it'd be safe, I'm lowering them in with the slotted spoon. And I'm going to cook about 3 at a time for 3 to 4 minutes until they're golden brown. Once the pies have been sitting out after you take them out of the hot oil for 1 minute, you're going to dip them in some cinnamon and sugar to coat them with it. So Cadence will show us how to do this. Now's the moment we've all been waiting for, where we get to eat the fried pies. So, it's a little cute empanada thing. Flaky. Oh. This is pretty awesome. Yeah. I wasn't expecting to like it as much. Like, look at that. It's like all flaky with oozy pie on the inside. Yum. Well, these get a 10 out of 10. They weren't that hard to make. I had to make some tweaks to the recipe, which I'll share in the comments below the video.